Very good evening to all, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is 29 January 2026, Thursday class. So we will be continuing our sharing from this book, our Heart Sutra book, the second edition. We are at chapter 39, page 194. As usual, we will have our physical puja. Okay. Let us compose our mind, develop the faith, Saddha, Virya, then mindfully we shall proceed with the Puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无文殊菩萨，南无文殊菩萨，南无文殊菩萨。南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。阿拉汉萨玛萨布多巴嘎哇。Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivadimi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Panati Pata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adina Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majappamadhatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Buddhang Pujemi. Dhammang Pujemi. Sanghang Pujemi. So awareness-based meditation is very simple when you understand. You only need to relax body and mind, maintain awareness. Don't try to know, don't try to do anything, just aware within. Whatever happens, whatever arises, aware. Finish. After that, no need to continue with the thought process or thinking. You just maintain awareness. Whatever arises within your sixth sense door, just aware. Finish. Finish means no more activity after that. So this is the quickest way to develop the inner awareness. Then just allow the mind to be, let it move, let it slow down, and let it develop the tranquility and stillness within. When you don't give it any more thought energy, the thinking cannot continue. Thought can only continue when you allow it to. So you just have to relax, maintain awareness, and continue to stabilize the awareness. Don't try to know, don't try to do anything. Just relax, maintain awareness, and let things be. Whatever arises, aware, finish. Then the mind will slowly slow down until it returns to its original state before the stirring. And then you will realize your true mind, which is your pure awareness nature within, which is the silent mind, also your meditative mind. So stay with that silence. Just allow the awareness to be. Whatever that trigger of contact within your sixth sense door, just maintain awareness. Then the mind will stabilize. And when you can just let things be, everything will return to its original state before the stirring. Like what J. Krishnamurti say, the very flowering of that thought, or the emotion, or the mind state that has reacted and stirred, is the ending of that thought. So let it flower, let it return to its original state and cease. Then in that state of no thought, that is your true mind, your silent mind, your pure awareness nature within, stay within. Okay, with that I will let you meditate on your own. Okay, I will set that long, 30 minutes. You can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the meditative mind state that can make you heedful throughout the day. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakavalisu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhamang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhammasvanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma smanan kalo ayang badanta. Dhamma smanan kalo ayang badanta. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti peso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho. Vijja charana sampanno sugato lokavido. Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati. Satta deva manusanang Buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata dhammo. Sanditiko akaliko. Ehipasiko opanayiko. Pachyatang veditabo vinohiti. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka-saṅgho. Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka-saṅgho. Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka-saṅgho. Samicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka-saṅgho. Yadidang cattari purisa yukani atta purisa pugala. Esa bhagavato sāvaka-saṅgho. Ahuniyo pahuniyo. Dakiniyo anjali karaniyo. Anuttarang punyang ketang lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We are at page 194, lesson 39 of the Heart Sutra class. Okay. Part 1. There is no Heart Sutra note. Then part 2, meditation. Then we will straight away continue from the meditation. There is a question that somebody asked about the significance of the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths. So this question I will read to you. Bhadatiyo, he said, the sutta said the Buddha became enlightened through self-realization. Then why is it also mentioned in the first sermon, which is the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, that the Buddha himself also has to go through the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths to become enlightened? So this is the question. Before I explain, I will read you the answer first. I said the Buddha has already cultivated for 3 3/4 aeons to fulfill his 10 perfection to become a Sammasambuddha. Prior to his full enlightenment in India 2,600 years ago. So the Buddha was already a Bodhisattva then. And he had cultivated the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths before. What happened was, when he became fully enlightened underneath the Bodhi tree, he inherited all his past perfections and cultivation. Hence, he knew the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths are very important. So, this part, I think I have to explain a bit, because most people, they are quite confused. There are a few occasions where people tend to have this doubt. In the text, it's always written, the Buddha has got no teacher. Then he realized enlightenment through himself, means self-realization. And this self-realization is something that living beings need to understand. Where, as I have always explained to you all, during the time of the Buddha, means in India 2,600 years ago, the teaching at that time was mainly thought-based, energy field and all those things. And the 40 type of meditation object leading to all the samatha meditation, or we call it energy field, thought-based jhana type of meditation was very popular. And we have at that time a lot of teachings, not only the Hindu teaching, they got the various other types of teaching. But then, the Buddha, when he left the palace, for 6 years, he actually strived very hard. He tried various means of cultivation, meditation. Then he even learned from many teachers. And the last two whom he did mention, where he learned all the jhanas and all those things, and realized almost equal practices as what the teacher has achieved. The first one is to realize the 7 jhana. Then the last one is the one that taught him the 8 jhanas. And even though they requested him to join them as peers, as equal to teach and all those things, but he refused and he was not keen. The reason being, he said to himself that this is not the realization that he is looking forward to. Because the reason why he left the palace is to seek the answer to old age, sickness and death. Where when he saw the 4 signs, especially the first 3 signs, where he see an old man, very elderly person. Then he saw a very sick person. Then he saw finally a dead person. At that time he cannot understand, because the father tried to hide all this phenomena from him, because as advised by the wise one, those that actually predicted who the Buddha will become when he grew up, they supposed to be the wise one. And one of the very important advice given by most of them is, he said, avoid letting the Buddha to be at that time was the Bodhisattva from seeing these 4 signs, which is old age, sickness and death. And the 4th sign is a samana among or a cultivator of the way. So because of that, he has no knowledge of what these things are, until one day he managed to leave the palace with his attendant. Then when he was traveling out of the palace, to actually understand what is outside the palace. He saw these first three signs. Then he asked the attendant, how come this person is like that? Like very weak, very frail, and very elderly. So the attendant mentioned, this person is a very old person, very old man. He said, what is old man? He said, every one of us, we will grow up and finally grow old. Then the second person he saw is a very sick person. He said, each and every one of us, if we don't take care, sooner or later we will fall sick. And a lot of people die of sickness, die of injury, disease, etc. Then finally he saw the third sign, a dead person. Then the attendant answered, he said, yeah, this is a dead person. So the Buddha asked, what do you mean by a dead person? He said, every one of us, after certain years of living, we must die. No one can escape death. Death is a certainty. Then he reflected. He realized he has a problem. When he grows old, gets sick or very sick, then finally he died. He got no answer to all this, because these are reality of life and existence. So he determined to seek an answer to this. So his answer is not to realize the fantastic meditation where he can feel the peace, the bliss, the very strong energy feel, born of the jhanic experience and all those things. That's why he knew that was not what he is searching for. What he is searching for is the answer to old age, sickness and death. Because he knew if this is something every humanity or living being must go through and experience, then he has a problem despite what he has been given. Because he knew sooner or later he has to grow old and he will fall very sick. And finally, he will have to die. Because at that time he cannot understand that this body and mind, which is the human being, is not him. He has not realized that wisdom that is needed for him to actually transcend life, to develop the awakening, so that he can be liberated. Then when he saw the fourth sign, he knew there is a way out. The samana is a person who has gone for renunciation, who devote his time towards realization of truth, enlightenment, awakening, so that his problem can be resolved. That's why he decided to go for cut the hair, don the robe, and go for. So, coming back to the question, you see, the question is, it was mentioned in the sutta that his enlightenment was self-realization. And in fact, after his enlightenment, the first person he met was a merchant, I think. He saw the Buddha so serene, so calm, and so different. So he was very excited and he wants to find out who his teacher is. And when he inquired, the Buddha replied, I have no teacher. Because that realization that he realized was not taught by anybody. That's why he has got no teacher. So that self-realization part is on that type of wisdom that he was looking for or searching for. And the awakening from that realization. Of course, his realization also enabled him to connect to his nature so that he can inherit his spiritual nature and develop all the understanding that he has cultivated before. So like I explained in my answer, the first part, he has cultivated for 3 3/4 Asankhaya Kapas. And over these 3 3/4 Asankhaya Kapas, he has perfected himself actually. He has developed all the understanding, realization, and perfection. During that life, when he was born as a future Sakyamuni Buddha, Samasambuddha nature, he actually developed all this understanding from the past. That's why when he sat under the Bodhi tree, that fateful night before his enlightenment and realization, his past came back to him. He actually managed to connect to the nature, they inherit the spiritual nature, and the whole understanding and awakening immediately trigger off. It's just like the Trikaya body explanation as stated in the sutta. The physical body that performed the function of the Buddha was the Nimana Kaya, or we call it the functional body that performs the function of what the Buddha need to perform. That's why I say this form of mind, the body is like a vehicle to take us around, for us to move around, mobility, everything. Then you have its senses. Then it can trigger off contact and the resultant sense of consciousness, leading to the 18th sense rhyme, or what we call enable the form and mind to know the world. So how do we know the world? How do we interact with the world? Through our senses. And through these senses, upon contact, consciousness come to be. So we are conscious being. We can be conscious of what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we tactily feel and think. So this consciousness is like a magician. That's why in the 4 circle formation that I taught you all, the last circle is a phenomenal world of consciousness and form. And as per the analogy given by the Buddha, the 5 aggregate, the last aggregates of Vijnanam, Vijnanam of consciousness, the mental consciousness is like a magician. It can create magic or illusion to delude the living being, just like an illusionist. Everything is not so real, not what you think. But this illusionary world, created by consciousness, is like a magician. That's why when we cultivate, we need to develop this type of realization. So the Buddha at that time, before he became enlightened, he thought that physical body, that consciousness trapped inside, that combination he thinks is the human being, which is what he is. That's why if that is what he is, then he said he has a problem. When he gets old, when he gets very sick, and finally he has to die. So he got no answer, despite everything that the Father has given him. the luxurious life and all those things. But there is no answer to this tree. Not until underneath the Bodhi tree, when he connect back and develop the realization, then he realized this form and mind is not him. That's why his answer already there. His problem no more. If this is not me, that's why he can teach us the 5 daily contemplation. This body of ours is of the nature to grow old, get sick and die, for he has not gone beyond old age, sickness and death. That is the meaning. Where this body is made of element, no knowing, how can it be you? It is dependent, originating, condition arising, a phenomenon. And that one is not a permanent, unchanging entity. So through this, he awakened. Then if it is not him, then why must he worry about that form, going the way of nature, experiencing old age, sickness and death? Then there was this profound understanding. No one died, no one sick, no one old. That's how the awakening come about. That's why he got no teacher. Yeah. Then when it comes to the what they call Four Noble Truths, because of his perfection, his long period of cultivation, he was a very unique being. You can say at that time when he arrived, he is the wisest and the most virtuous living being ever to be born. And because of that understanding, that perfection and that virtue and wisdom, perfection of wisdom and virtue, he was able to summarize to us all of life, both mundane and supramundane. And he called it the Four Noble Truths. That's why these Four Noble Truths are very unique truths. Why did the Buddha call it the Aryan Truth or Noble Truth? Why don't he call it by a special name like Universal Truth or whatever? He has a reason. Because these are unique truths. These are not ordinary truths. These are truths that can bring about realization in the here and now, enlightenment in the here and now. And through that realization, it can make you noble ones. That's why it has to be called the Four Noble Truths. So, noble ones, during the time of the Buddha, they are called Aryas. Arya means noble one, noble in every aspect of life. They are very noble in their understanding of life. They are very noble in the way they live their life, they conduct themselves. That's why the whole of the Four Noble Truths, they have all the noble quality as defined by the Noble Eightfold Path. From right view means right understanding or perfect wisdom. It can give rise to right thought, right speech, right action, and right living or livelihood. And right action, right speech, and right thought are like right communication, right understanding of life, to live life. And when you have all this perfected, then you are incapable of evil. That's why the Noble Eightfold Path are the embodiment of the enlightened being's unique quality. They are very noble in all aspects of life. That's why they understand the secret of life. They know how to live life, and they know how to realize the highest enlightenment. And this is why I call it the secret of life, the Four Noble Truths. And if you look at the Four Noble Truths, if you have been a cultivator before, as I told you all in the year 1970, I think 73, when I received the first book, What Buddhists Believe, the first edition, the Red Colon, by our late Chief, Reverend Kesri Dhammananda. The moment I saw the Four Noble Truths, it's like I knew what these Four Noble Truths are. Deep inside my heart, my nature, the understanding shine forth. Then there and then at that time, inside tell me, don't need to search, this is it. Nobody during that time can have this understanding. Nobody in this universe can just summarize to us all of life, both the mundane and supramundane, into just Four Noble Truths, and it covers everything. That's why it was so extraordinary. And at that time I already knew this is like the secret of life. When I understand this, I understand life, I understand the whole creation, the whole teaching. And it's so powerful. That's why after that, no more looking back. That is the one. That's the uniqueness of the Buddha. So, with this, I hope you all can understand the significance of this Four Noble Truths and this tree turning, and why the tree turning. We are here over a long period of cultivation. His enlightenment, his realization comes about through this three way of realizing wisdom. The first turning gave rise to the corresponding first turning wisdom, which we call Suttamaya Panya. When you hear the sutta or the discourse of the Buddha, through hearing at that time, because during the Buddha's time there is only hearing, no written words, no books, nothing. Hearing. That's why they are called sound hearer, who hear the teaching. So this first turning is called Suttamaya Panya, because after hearing the sutta, you develop that type of wisdom of the first turning while you're hearing. That's why the 10 stages of 10 steps within the Avijja Sutta that leads one to realize the enlightenment. We have this first step is having Dhamma friends, Kayamitas. Then second step is having the opportunity to listen to the true Dhamma. That is the first turning wisdom, constantly listening to the true Dhamma. Then after that first turning, the Buddha realized when he contemplate, reflect and inquire into all this, he stabilized his understanding. And that contemplative wisdom leads to the second turning wisdom, which is called Chintamaya Panya. So under Chintamaya Panya, the Buddha realized through constant reflection, contemplation and inquiry into the sutta or what the Buddha has taught through his essential Dhamma teaching, you manage to develop the stability of understanding. So this stability of understanding is the one that gives rise to the initial wisdom, which the Buddha called Yoniso Manasikara. And this initial wisdom will prompt you at the moment of sense experience. Yeah. In fact, after the first turning also, if you have cultivated before from the past, then you can also awaken. Just like my nature this life when I come. When I hear truth, I understand, I can awaken. Then after that, the Buddha also went into the third turning because he realized through his long period of cultivation, you need this third turning, which is sati-based, mindfulness-based. That's why he called it wisdom born of bhavana, bhavana maya panya. Bhavana is the meditative discipline, training. And bhavana consists of mainly sati and samadhi. So when you develop sati, mindfulness, stabilize it until it becomes samadhi. Then through sati and samadhi, he realized the truth. He can see things as they are. He can understand the creation, the movement, the paticca samuppada, how we function as a human, how our mind function and move, following the 12 link, paticca samuppada. Then the silent mind can also insight into phenomena and awaken. And it can also see things as they are, without word, without duality, without concept. That's why it's called the direct seeing, without words. So these three turnings, which he realized through his own cultivation and perfection, he actually summarized them into the Dhamma Sutta, the first sermon that he taught to the 5 ascetics. When he turned this Four Noble Truths 3 times, first, second, and third turning, one of the 5 ascetics, Kondanya, realized Sotapanaship. Then after that, he followed with the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta. All 5 ascetics become Arahant at that time. That's why that teaching is very powerful. And Anatta Lakkhana is the teaching on Anatta. Anatta, the meaning is very deep. It's not only the one literally translated by most practitioners of the Dhamma using the English translation as non-self. Anatta means empty nature of existence, or everything is not a permanent, unchanging entity. Everything is dependent, originating, condition, arising, cause of phenomena. And because of that, it is not a permanent, unchanging entity that we can grasp onto, cling onto, and hold onto, and say, this is me, this is I. That's why the atta, the self, is a fallacy. It's not a reality. Okay? So now, with this, we go back to the notes. Then I go into the Four Noble Truths. The Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. In the first sermon, which is the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha's opening statement is to advise the 5 ascetics. You have to avoid the 2 extremes. What are the 2 extremes? The first extreme is to avoid sensual indulgence, because we have our 6th sense now. Our senses can condition us to crave and indulge into a lot of things in this world, in this existential world. So like the word sensual, from the senses, and you find it so pleasurable, like so nice, so like can make you feel so good. Then you attach, you cling, then you indulge. Yeah. So sensual indulgence is one extreme. Yeah. You can have love, you can have joy, you can have all the good mind state. You can experience all the sensual pleasure or whatever, but don't attach, don't cling, means don't indulge. So sensual indulgence is a very dangerous practice to indulge in. If you want to be a cultivator, you should avoid sensual indulgence. Do not indulge. But you can live life, the beautiful, meaningful, and wonderful life. You can experience all of the beauty and wonders of nature and life. No problem. Like one of my teachers used to say, he said, you can love with all your heart, everything, but not be deluded by it, not be deceived by it. Means don't attach, don't cling. When there is condition to express that love, sincerely express it and really radiate or express it, but without any delusion. Then the understanding will unfold and you will not attach, especially when you have love for your loved ones. It can be your spouse, your children, your whatever, somebody who is very dear to you, even your parents, your teachers, or whatever, or even unique special friends. When you don't attach, it means whatever happened to them, like the Buddha's teaching, it's not what you think. Their form and mind also go the way of nature, also subject to karma. They are just the way they are. They are born of their karma, heir to their karma condition, and born of their karma, heir to their karma condition, and supported by their karma. And they are what they are because of their karma. So whatever happened, you have to have that wisdom to accept that reality. They go the way of nature. And old age, sickness and death, leading to separation, everything are described in the First Noble Truth realities of life and existence, the 8 conditions. So when you have all this understanding, born of the Four Noble Truth, the 3 turning, you will not be deluded. That's why you will not attach to the senses and develop this self-indulgence. Then the other extreme is very common during the time of the Buddha, is believing that by torturing yourself, the physical body, it can lead to enlightenment. That's why they call the second extreme as self-mortification. Because in the olden days, it is believed that if you subject yourself through self-mortification to cause suffering to yourself, to endure all this, it means, according to their wrong view, the belief, if you can completely wipe off your suffering that you have accumulated through your karmic process, then you will become enlightened. It's not like that. You need wisdom to awaken. It's not through self-mortification. That's why that type of practice at that time, it was very, very popular. That's why during the time of the Buddha, there are a lot of ascetic, or they call hermits that goes to the high mountains, even the Himalayas and all those things, and do all those practices called self-motivation without enough warm clothing. They stand on one feet in the deep cold and all those things. And some, they mortify their body until even the Buddha went through it before he became enlightened. He was at the verge of death, I think. He became like so skinny, lack of nutrition and all those things. And when he realized this is not the way, he reverted back to take food and have proper proper nutrition. Where he recalled when he was young, the harvesting season festival, where he was quite well fed and looked after. His mind was good and he was able to just enter the first jhana and realize the beautiful mind state. So that one created a condition for him, to revert back to eating. But when he did that, the 5 ascetics left him. They thought he was no longer serious. So this self-motivation is actually a wrong view. But nowadays, I think less people entangle themselves with this already. So when you can avoid the two extremes, the Buddha actually taught the middle path, which he called the Noble Eightfold Path, as proclaimed by him. And the deeper meaning of the middle path is to transcend all duality, to go beyond good and bad, right and wrong, to transcend duality. That is the deeper meaning of middle way. So one of the meaning is avoid the two extremes, take the middle path. Then the second meaning of the middle path is it will lead to the enlightenment that enable you to have the wisdom to transcend duality within nature, within the conditioned world. When you can transcend duality, then you transcend the normally believed type of convention, right and wrong, good and bad, because everything is just the way it is. Suchness, condition like that, things will be like that. No right, no wrong. He know you, he know me. No one born, no one die. So all this understanding will dawn upon the cultivator of the way, when you have cultivated the Four Noble Truths and its three turning. Especially the final summary of the First Noble Truth, the 5 aggregates of form and mind, the two aspects. Then you penetrate and realize the anatta nature of all phenomena. Then you realize the form and mind is not what you are, not what you think you are. Okay, with this, we move on. Then I describe a little bit about how I developed the cultivation this life. I say in the early days when I was cultivating this Buddha Dhamma, I haven't really heard of the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths. In fact, when I read the book, I only read the Four Noble Truths. There was no mentioning of the 3 turnings. But I was indeed very lucky because I met a Thai monk, Prachayantra, one of my first Theravada teacher, Amaro Bhikkhu, Prachayantra Amaro Bhikkhu in 1988. And it was he who constantly, not less than 6 times, advised me. Because every time I meet him, when alone, he will talk to me. He said, we choose contemplate all Dhamma spoken by the Buddha until they become very, very clear. At that time, I didn't know that this was the second turning of the Four Noble Truths until much later. Uh, it was in the year 2004 when Yun Chan decided to invite me out to share the teaching or the Dhamma that I have realized with the world. Then I actually initially rejected her 3 times, but after the 3rd occasion, my nature reflect. Then I decided to accept, because by accepting means I have to set the 3 conditions for my sharing. So as stated in the website, the 3 conditions, I established it. Then initially it was general Dhamma. I remember 2004 was the year of the tsunami, end of the year. We were sharing the general topic, but I linked it to the Dhamma. Then after, I think about a month or 2, they got quite interested. Then somebody suggests, and through Yun Chan, she came. She said, Brother, they suggest, why not we go into the teaching, the Dhamma? I said, okay, should be good. Then he said, what title? Start from where? Then at that time we were at Vipassana Center, I think, the branch above Kana there. Then I saw on the wall the 5 ascetics with the Buddha. I said, we start off with this first sermon. Yeah, this is what the Buddha actually taught and started. Then after that he said, oh, it's very good. Then I said, do you have any book or not on this first sermon? I don't know, I haven't read it. Then he said, yeah, he said, we have the chanting book, the Thai version. So he brought me the chanting book. He actually offered me 1 copy. Then I went back and read. The moment I read through the first sermon, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, I straight away knew what the 3 turning is. I straight away knew what are the 3 types of wisdom that is connected to the 3 turning. Even though in the sutta it's not mentioned about the 3 types of wisdom. Yeah. The 3 types of wisdom, Suttamaya Panya, Chintamaya Panya, and Bhavana, was like a separate teaching somewhere else. But then I was able to link it and tie it. That's why after that, I developed the sharing. Okay, then after that, we move on. Page 195. Then that teacher, Ajahn, he also emphasized a lot on the importance of cultivating the daily mindfulness, stabilizing it. Because of my strong faith or sada in Ajahn and the Triple Gem, I cultivated this Dhamma contemplation, or the second turning wisdom, and the daily mindfulness a lot. And my understanding of the Buddha Dhamma started to stabilize, and my progress along the path of Dhamma become very smooth and very fast. So this one is actually, I should say, meant to be, because when I started the cultivation during my Form 6 days, then when I came to the uni, I don't know what is meditation. Then I don't really know meditation in general. Then when I came down to the university, I think I reported to University Malaya, I was offered civil engineering. First day, somebody, a colleague, invited me to join him at a science faculty lecture hall where there was a monk giving a Dhamma talk. And that monk turned out to be the author of the book, K. Sri Dhammananda, the late Dr. K. Sri Dhammananda. Then after hearing that, I went back I straight away attempted meditation for the first time in my life. And that sitting, although I thought it was only half an hour, ended up 4 hours. Yeah. And I don't know what happened. Naturally, the anapanasati came. No? Nobody taught me. Then my breath become very calm, very still. Then after that, I went into the formless rhyme. Then I came out. Then after that, I was thinking, well, this is meditation. Where my mind becomes so calm, so tranquil. It was not only that night. In fact, after that, for 2 or 3 weeks, the energy was with me, very strong. Yeah. And from that moment onward, I developed the interest to meditate. And I can settle down my mind and develop the calmness, anapanasati, very fast. Yeah. That's why all this understanding, they just like meant to be, they manifest. Yeah. Then when I met Ajahn Yantara that time, actually I also received the message from Kuan Yin, 1986. Then that time Shen Hua also came. The book come, the teacher come, the guide come, everything come. Then as I developed that cultivation, I developed quite a lot of understanding of the Dhamma. But when I met Ajahn Yantara, it was different. He taught me the contemplation, the second turning wisdom. That one helped a lot, stabilized a lot. Then the daily mindfulness was the final reckoning of progress and all those things. Then I realized this sati, I had done it before. Because when it come back to me, I can recall when I was young, I like to sit alone observing nature, and I can see the flow of nature, the phenomenal flow, specific phenomenal awareness, everything. That time I don't know what it is, but my mind naturally can see. It's like a flow, the awareness and the phenomena move as one. And I don't know what that thing was, but I tell myself, this must be something I have cultivated before, but I don't know what it is. Until I develop the daily mindfulness, then I connect back. That's why end of 88 until beginning of 89, my nature actually connect back. Yeah. So that is the whole story. Yeah? Now I read on, then you will understand. It was only in the year 2004 when I was invited by Sister Yun Chan. Well, I put here as sister in the Dhamma where she don't want her name to be mentioned. To share the Dhamma that arises, the condition for me to really look at the first sermon, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. I remember it was at section 17, Slang of Vipassana Society, above Kanaya, when she asked me what topic I want to start off with. I then saw a framed photo of the Buddha giving the first sermon to the 5 ascetics on the wall. So I said to her, since the Buddha started with that, I will also start with that first sermon, Sutta, or the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. I then asked her for a copy of the Sutta, which she so kindly gave to me. It was a Thai chanting book. And the moment I read the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths, straight away I could link my cultivation to it, and there was so much joy. I suddenly understood its meaning, and how the 3 turnings correspond to the 3 types of wisdom that the Buddha talked about or has taught in other part of the sutta. It's not in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Then I had developed my own cultivation, following the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths, without knowing that they were the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths. That's why at that time I like to listen to the Dhamma. I did a lot of recording, Master Shen Hua, Ajahn Yantara, and many other monks, even Ajahn Jagaro at that time, where I was helping out in the tape library at Brickfield. Then I was responsible for recording and reproducing the tape for the tape library. And we were members of the tape library to actually lend out the tapes. Okay, so that's the first part. Okay, then we go to the second part. This second part also very good, but I don't think we have much time. Anyway, I just go through and we see how it goes. I go through it generally maybe. So there was a question. According to Brother Theo, he said, our mind can only do one thing at a time. But in my meditation, how come I can be aware of my in and out breath, and simultaneously I could be aware of a lot of other things, like my other thoughts, perception, bodily sensation, etc. Why is it so? So a lot of cultivators at that time, I think because they developed the anapanasati quite well, the mindfulness of the in and out breath, they become mindful, they become sensitive, and they have clarity. And it's like, while they are aware of the in and out breath, they can also be aware of other things, because there is this stability of mind state, clarity and all things. But the thing that they don't understand is, our mind can only do one thing at a time. Well, I always say this in the early years when I share. Man, I use the word, man can only do one thing at a time. Means what? Either you are completely silent without thought, means aware, fully aware, or you are lost in thought, preoccupied with your thinking, with your whatever emotion and reaction to sense experience. So when you are lost in thought and preoccupied with all your thinking, emotion and everything that you generate through the sankhara activity and thought process, then how can you be aware? You can't. But then this question is very good. That's why I answered him. I said, this is a very good question. Then I said, you see, when your anapanasati has stabilized, as explained by me just now, your awareness will enable you to do that, because mindfulness of your in and out breath will help you anchor your awareness there. And with that inner awareness, the silent mind with inner awareness of the breath, you can definitely be aware of your thoughts, your perception, your bodily sensation and tactile consciousness. Because every time when you are aware, you are not thinking. So that is the key. Every time you are aware, you are not thinking. But then, in the midst of your awareness, so this awareness of all your other mental activity like perception, so you moving up, tactile and thought consciousness are actually all separate entity. But when you are aware of your perception, aware of your mental activity, tactile consciousness, those are separate moments. Although very fast, it's like you can multitask. But that is because you are mindful, you are aware. So here, I read again. So this awareness of all your other mental activities like mental perception, mental feeling, sensation, tactile and thought consciousness, etc. are actually separate entities. But because your mind can move so fast, it's as if you can multitask them, as if they are all happening simultaneously. When you are aware of your breath, there is no thought. There is mind and breath as one. But the moment you start to arise a perception of what you have perceived, your mental agree or sanya has arisen. So it's a separate entity. Then what do? Chances are you will deludedly react or grasp onto it via your views, opinion and conditioning and also belief system. Unless you have uniso manasikara or wisdom at the moment of sense experience, your feeling will be conditioned into craving of like and dislike almost immediately. With wisdom, mindfulness and heedfulness, you can be aware of thought and its content of consciousness. You can be aware at the moment of perception, feeling and consciousness, etc. But the moment you are lost in thought or preoccupied with what you perceive, then your mind is no longer aware and you have become heedless. The mind that is aware is always silent, without thought. Hence, the moment you are aware again, you don't perceive or think anymore. The mind, with its silent inner awareness, is actually the oneness nature, or the pure awareness nature, that can take in the entire phenomenal world outside. Like that they share with you all, the two words, phenomena and nomina. So he teach me the pronunciation. I always pronounce it pneumono. But actually he said phenomena, then the word nomina. That is the opposite of phenomena. Means that nomina, which is the total oneness nature that can contain the whole phenomenal world. Okay, we finish. Now we come back to our second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question you may have.
Amitabha, Bratio,
Amitabha,
Mrs.
yes.
Teo, and okay, Amitabha.
Yes.
Bratio, maybe I share about the. Let me see how to say this. It's about my experience. Some time ago. Maybe I want to share, and then maybe Brother can comment on this.
Can. Yeah.
In the past, Brother, I usually don't attend Dhamma talk. And I mean, when I first learn about Buddhism, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm quite interested in listening to like English sharing of Dhamma talk.
Oh, okay.
So, but then a lot of monks, they don't speak English, Brother. They speak in Thai, right? So when they speak in Thai, I mean, I went to listen actually because I mean, I want to know what they talk about. I'm kind of curious what they talk about. So I went. I think it was some time ago, long time ago, Brother. This is my experience about that. So I have this problem. When I listen to them, they talk in Thai. After that, they will have a translator. They will talk in English, they explain that English, what the monk talk about. So I have this problem listening to Thai, and then after that, I listen to English. So because listening to Thai, I do not understand what they are talking about. Then the Thai, of course, speaking English, I know what they talk about. But while waiting for them to translate, right, my mind kind of like how you call it, become heedless, like think about other thing, your whatever unfinished business, like
They will come.
so this is the problem that I had. And then after which, when I listen to their translation, right, I mean, there's a discontinuation. So I felt that I have a problem, that I don't really like to listen to Dhamma talk. That is that I have to wait, that I have to wait. So
I
that is
think
initially when I
that one is
come to
quite
learn
common.
about Buddhism.
Quite common. But in the early days, I remember there are quite a lot of this Thai, or not only Thai monks, they come. In the early day, I think a lot from Myanmar, they also come. So the Myanmar one, they come, some, their English are not good, especially the early day, even the Thai monks. But nowadays, because of the improve in English command and literacy, especially with the advent of Western speaking monks who are in the Theravada tradition, following Ajahn Chah's tradition, then we start to have more and more of this, what they call Westerner type of teachers who have good command of English. Then when they share, is normally, especially Ajahn Chah's lineage Western disciple, they can speak quite well. But there are also some Westerners who are very good in Thai. I remember that time, this Ajahn Jagaro, he was in Thailand for quite long. Then when he decided to leave and go back to Australia, because somebody offered him a place, a way place, Serpentine there, I think, together with Ajahn Brahm. So they started. Then when he came and he gave Dhamma talk in Malaysia, initially it was in English, and I happened to be in Brickfield doing the recording. Then I came to know him and we become quite close. And he normally speak English. But then when the Thai people come and visit him, because before he left, he invited me to actually visit him and see him off at the airport, which I went. Then he was very well accepted, and that time a lot of surprisingly Thai people came and visit him. And when the Thai people were around there, I was told by the Thai devotee, they like to listen to him speak Thai. Or his Thai on the Dhamma aspect is so good. And they really love him. Because Ajahn Jagaro's Dhamma was very good. And he was one of the very few monks where I listened to attentively after I developed the recording. Then he is quite observant also. Yes, when we had the occasion to talk, when he was at Brickfield, I think, for quite a number of days, because somebody, a Malaysian lady who actually invited him over, was out of gratitude and joy, because Ajahn Jagaro helped him to, I think, overcome some problem at that time in Australia. Then they invited him over. Then I was told they also planned some trip for him to Malacca and all this thing. Then when I heard about it, I requested from Ajahn Jagaro, I said, you don't mind if I become your kapya and I follow you? Wow, he was so happy. That's why we got quite close. Then there were a few occasions we met. Then they speak Thai. He speak Thai. His Thai was very good. Then when Ajahn Yandra came also same. His English initially was no good. He speak Thai. Then his disciple translate. And the translator, the disciple, that Pramana, I remember, he's a doctor actually, by qualification. And his English is quite good, and his Dhamma also quite good. That's why he translates quite well. And I got no problem. I know a little bit of Thai. Then when they talk about Pali word, I can understand. Then most of the time I got no problem. But I can understand what you are facing, because not everybody understands Thai. Especially in the early years when I was listening to this Burmese monk, Myanmar monk. They speak Burmese. Then the translator translates. So there were a lot of incidents where the translation is not so accurate, because maybe the understanding is not to that level and all those things. Then the translation come out is different. Of course, when it comes to Thai with the Pali word, I understand. So for me, it's not a problem. Even they translate it slightly wrong or debate, I can understand. But the Myanmar one, unless they use Pali word, most of the time I cannot understand a single word of the Burmese language. So, like you mentioned, you don't like the interruption. Yeah. So there is this problem with foreigner coming to give Dhamma talk in foreign language, then the translator coming in. But after a while, you will get used to it. But then you find it not something that is like conducive for you to learn and all those things. Then just let things be, never mind, because it may be not your piece of cake and not conducive for you to develop that type of learning. But like you say, no harm finding out. Right? Go and listen. But in the early years when I started, I also, because most of the time I was in Brickfield, and sometimes they got this among the Buddhist community, which monk come where got taught. So we have the tendency to move. At that time, we got a small group of Kayamitas, not really Kayamitas, like Dhamma practitioner, where we get to know each other. Then we sometimes go together. Then we listen. Then you actually develop the learning. But when it comes to Sri Lanka and all those monks, they come over, most of them speak English. We got no problem. Because their English are quite good. Then some is from India. Then we also have some Mahayana nun and monk. Sometimes they come, they speak Mandarin, like Master Shen Hua, the disciple there. They speak Mandarin, then the disciple translate. But Mandarin, luckily, although I English educated, I can understand Mandarin, especially the Dhamma side, quite well. So for me, it's not a problem. It's like a revision when I listen to both. So it depends on you, the individual, project. You find it useful, conducive, then you can try. Otherwise, don't have to really, like the understanding you have now, you actually don't need. Because what they normally, I use the word normally, share or teach, is quite, I should say, the superficial Dhamma, not really the profound, deep Dhamma. You can hardly really find them because most of them have to cater for the audience and all those things. Then not necessarily everyone has the understanding to teach at that level. So for your case, I think it doesn't really matter. Project?
Yes, thank you, Vatil.
Yeah.
Yes, but what I wanted to say is the difference between now and in the past. Okay, so in the past I had this kind of problem because at first I do not know this problem because I just want to understand what they talk about and go and listen. Like Vatil said, if I was also wanted to learn at that point, like 2017, I went a few months to understand what they talk about.
The early
So
days.
like that, they don't really have topics that like the special topic that they want to share. They will just share what they felt they want to share for the audience, like what Brother Teo said. So I didn't like the the interval between between Thai and English and Thai English. So I had that kind of aversion to it, Brother Teo. So my mind go haywire when I not listening. I'm thinking about my other things and blah blah blah.
That's why
So
it's
now,
like not conducive for you. So
yes,
don't
yes,
worry,
correct.
just let it be.
Okay,
If it's
so
not,
when it comes, yes, so when it comes
you
to this,
continue.
right? When I attend this Katina in Thailand, right, the last year one. So I was like telling myself, okay, I have the past I have this kind of version problem, like, when I listen in Thai, then I have to listen in translation, So, but this time, because the translation also I had problem, with the translation because of the accent as well. So I don't have an understanding what is going on, and then because the sharing of the Thai is very long, and then the translation very short. So I also have a problem with that, Bharati, okay? But but how do I overcome it? That is the interesting part, Bharati. I use Bharatio's technique, I use Bharatio's technique. What do I do with it? Okay, so at one point that I listen, I do not have any translation, Bharatio. So I said, how do I overcome that? So I listen from my heart, Bharatio. I listen from my heart. Okay. Yes, but to tell you frankly, I have no idea what is in the Thai, Okay, I just listen from the heart. I do not have any version. Although I do not have any understanding, what is going on, what the person is talking about. It's just the vibration going in, Okay, but my mind is not averted to. I mean, there's no aversion to it, and I just listen very quietly, just listening. That's it, So for the whole period that the monk is talking, right, I don't understand what is he talking about, but I don't have aversion. Okay, so I just sit quietly there, listening to the vibration. That's all,
Good enough, because if there is anything, you will know, you will understand. The nature will pick it up.
Yes. But at least I know I don't have aversion. I am not heedlessly thinking of anything. Okay, so this is my experience,
a lot of different from the early days.
Yes, very different from the early days. That's how I overcome it, because I use Bharatio technique. Listen from the heart. Never
You
mind,
just
like
silent and go to the heart. It's at the same time while you listen, you actually meditating, because the awareness of the vibration is good enough. It's a type of sati that develop. That if the speaker has energy or Dhamma, it will go in on. Without you knowing, it will go in. But whatever it is, you will listen from the heart. It's very beautiful. Sadhu.
So that is what I did, lah. Okay. So after that, right, when I'm back in Singapore, right, I have another experience. Okay. This experience one is not in Thai, but it's in Pali, right?
Oh, Sadhu.
So this is in Pali. Okay, I also have no idea the Pali also, but I mean, of course, there are certain Pali words that I know, lah, but but this one is the chanting, the chanting in Pali.
Oh, okay, so the Parita chanting.
So I went to the funeral, then they do the chanting, the chanting is in Pali, lah. So, but before the chanting was done, the monk mentioned what chanting he's going to do. Okay, so I got the idea, like this chanting is about this, because when he speak, it was in English. So I know what Parita chanting is doing. So he's doing the Satipatthana chanting.
Most of them chant the Satipatthana Sutta. Then some will chant the seven factors of enlightenment, Satta Bhujanga Sutta.
Yes, correct. So this one, because it's in a funeral, but this is they do the Satipatthana chanting. So I read this. I won't say I know the Pali, but I ever read a few times this Satipatthana chanting before. But I have no idea the Pali word, but I read the English translation before, also. So I roughly know what they are chanting about, Bharati, okay? So, okay, because this Satipatthana chanting is super long, because
it's very long. That sutta is very long.
Very long sutta, right? So I also use the technique of Bharati. I also listen from the heart. But this time, Bharati, this is different, because mainly because I understand. Prior to this, I already understand Satipatthana sutta already, Bharati, okay? So I totally enjoy it, Bharati.
You will have the joy inside there. Because the vibration And also the understanding of the Satipatthana Sutta, as they recite, you have a lot of joy. And you will roughly understand what this thing is, because this is the highest meditation actually, the four foundation of mindfulness. When you develop that, it will lead to a lot of understanding, a very penetrative understanding. That's why it's step 8 in the Avijja Sutta.
Yes. So because I already understood this Satipatthana Sutta, right? And I read it before in the past, right? So I have a lot of joy, and throughout the chanting, right, I just listen from the heart, right, because I do not want to have the past experience that I have aversion to listening to other languages. So it just going into my heart, and plus the chanting was very good in the sense, because you see, this.
Listening from the heart is very, very beautiful.
Yes,
And you should do it, because that is also the meditative way. The fourth support, you stay at the heart. That is completely silent, quiet. Then whatever come, vibration or whatever, just be with it away. Then a lot of things will happen. You will develop a lot of understanding, joy, all those things. That's why the heart is where the nature is, the seat of consciousness, the gateway to our nature. Stay at the heart, very beautiful. But relax, remember to relax and stay there. Maintain awareness. Very good, Sadhu.
Yes. So actually, because of this technique that I learned, right? So today, when Brother Teo is doing the sharing Dhamma talk, right, I also listen from the heart.
Very good, Sadhu. That one, the vibration will go in. You don't try to know, you just allow the vibration to go in. Then, like my last guide used to say, relax, maintain awareness, and enjoy. Enjoy the vibration and the movement inside there. Then it will go in. Yeah, it's mind to mind. The understanding, the teaching will be transmitted. So stay at the heart is very beautiful. And when you develop the stability of skill to do it and understanding behind it, you become very different. Then whatever happens, you can just stay in the heart. Even in a noisy place or whatever, like in a city area or whatever, you stay at the heart. It's very beautiful. All this very loud noise or vibration or what, you listen from the heart. Like last time in the early day, I remember I shared with you all. You can use it to actually test your cultivation. So after 1989, I remember I was taken to a few places where the activity was very loud. One of them was this Chinese New Year celebration, I think. A lot of loud music, everything. Then there's another occasion, they brought me to a new place where there is a music tech in KL, where they just open for business. So they booked the private room and all that. Then we were invited, and among our classmate friends, so we went. And it was beautiful. The nature at the heart area, despite all the music, all those things are very loud, heavy metal, music tech and all those. I don't know what you call karaoke or what. The music are very loud, and the hard metal music and all those things. But it doesn't affect me at all. It's like hollow inside there. And that stability of awareness, mindfulness was beautiful. That's why not only no aversion, nothing, you can actually live it, have the joy. And you can see the way people go about living their life, doing some are heedless, all those things. But that is the way they are. The world is the world. Condition are the things with that. And this is what life is. That's why it's like condition for you to test yourself. Whatever happen is meant to be. Then sometimes you go to some type of like Dhamma Sharing or what, then you know they don't have the understanding. You also smile and laugh. Then after that you say, okay, we can go. Then we leave. Many occasions. So all this is part and parcel of cultivation, part of understanding, and that whole of life and movement within the field of Dhamma cultivation. So you will go through and you will experience them, and like what you have shared is very good. You will learn how to listen from your heart. That is the best. You can do that. You will become beautiful. And this is good advice for other Kayamitas too. So make a note of today's sharing by Sister Poh Cheng. Sadhu.
Yes, Sadhu Bratyo. I mean, I was able to use the technique listening from the heart when I had aversion with the Thai language, listening, and then after that, the translation also not so good, and therefore I just listen from the heart line, throughout the sharing in Thai. And then when I listen to Pali chanting, right, and I don't understand it, and I also listen from the heart. But in this particular occasion,
you have a lot of joy.
I have a lot of joy in it, although I don't understand in the Pali.
Yeah, the vibration is very different. It's also very soothing, and you have read the English version before. So you will have the faith and the joy. It will manifest.
Correct. And then when it comes to listening today's Dhamma talk, right, by Brother Teo, so I listen. Of course, I understand Brother Teo the English, so I let it be, Brother Teo. I let it be. So I let it listen, and then after a while, there is no more listening. The English is just a vibration, the activation of.
No need to listen. Just go in, stay there, and completely just let things be. Then the vibration, which is the wisdom energy, that one will go in. That one will go in. Then unknowingly, actually, the understanding will go into your nature. This is what we call mind to mind transmission. When you have the cultivation, when you can do it, when you can listen from the heart, you will receive this. That's why all these are the higher level of practice or cultivation that normal cultivator cannot understand. That's why I remember in the early day, I think, Ingbi did ask me at the retreat, I explained a few times, what is mind-to-mind transmission. You always read about it in the sutta or in the, what they call, in the teachings, mind-to-mind transmission. And Maya Sutta got a lot of this. Even the Surangama Sutta, the way it started, Sakyamuni Buddha actually, he transmit that thing to Mahakassapa. Then he just smiled. From the smile, the teaching, the transmission already on the way. So all this is meant to be. Sometimes it's their vibration, their nature's energy. You can hear, you can listen, then you can detect. So when you detect, you just silent. That thing can actually come and help you manifest in the way it's supposed to be. Then if it's meant to be, that nature's energy, depending on who is able to draw from who, then you will develop the joy, because both are cultivated and their nature also develop. Then depending on whose nature is more developed, more evolved, then the one less evolved will feel it and draw, and they will have a lot of joy. That's why sometimes when I travel, especially in the early days, I can detect all this. Then when I detect, actually that time, initially there are some I can draw. But then later on, I think the last 10 over years or what, most of the time is even I detect, I don't draw, they draw from me normally. But the uniqueness of this is the nature never depletes. No matter how many people draw, it is never deplete. It is like the more they draw, the stronger your nature is. It's just like when I develop the Dhamma Sharing, when I speak from the heart, that vibration, that nature's energy that manifests is very strong. And a lot of cultivators who has developed the mindfulness and the awareness, they can actually feel it, detect it. Then what you should do is, you just silent, relax, and just draw. Just let it be, and develop the joy, the gratitude. Then after that, a lot of things will happen, and the cultivator will know. Then they will know this one is a different one. And a lot of this manifestation of the nature's energy, it depends on who you encounter. When you encounter great being, true cultivator of the way, it's very beautiful. That's why when you are on spiritual trip, some of these way plays, because they have been there for so long, their nature's energy are there very strong. That's why a lot of Kayamita who went on spiritual trip, if you are sensitive, you have the mindfulness, you can feel them, you can draw. Then some of these Rupang also same, stupa and all those things, because there are relics there and people pay respect. And every time people pay respect, that statue or that crystal or that stupa actually is like charging up with this type of beautiful, calm energy. Because people have faith, they pay respect and all those things. And in fact, most of the Rupang in many temples, if you go, you can feel it, you will know. The vibration inside there is quite strong, but not necessarily all are wisdom energy. Most of them are faith and calmness energy, and thought-based energy. But wisdom energy are rare, but there are quite a lot around. So all this, as cultivator of the way, you can feel them. That's why when you have the cultivation, when you travel, you become very different. You are not only sensitive, aware, you have the ability to actually sense all this nature's energy. And most of the time, if you are new, means new in your cultivation, I will say, you will benefit, you will draw, and you will receive a lot of this type of so-called good energy from cultivator of the way and good way place. But later on, as you develop the cultivation, stabilize, and you yourself becomes like different, strong, and able to help others, then your nature is, like I said, ever radiating for the cultivator of the way. Is ever radiating, and whoever who can receive, who can tap into it and draw, will be able to benefit. But what you need is actually faith, sincerity, and mindfulness or heedfulness within. Then all this become possible. Very good. Okay, Poh Cheng, you continue. A few more minutes. 6 more minutes.
Yeah, thank you, Bharatio. So, coming back to this Bharatio sharing, right? So, I listen, I kind of like understand Bharatio, what Bharatio is
Yeah,
talking about, but
because the Dhamma you have gone through. Yeah.
I want to listen from my heart. So, actually, because I want to listen from the heart, right, Bharatio? So,
Mm.
the listening stop, so it's just the activation of the heart that is vibrating.
Yeah.
So, throughout the Dhamma talk by Bharatio, I have no idea Bharatio talk about.
Never
Because I
mind. No
want to
need to know
listen from
because
my
the
heart.
vibration go
Yes,
in already. Then
correct, correct.
later on, after a while, you will be very surprised. Why is it? How come your understanding is different? Like you have developed the understanding already on this topic and all those things. Yeah. Or you go back and listen the recording. Very surprisingly, you listen on the heart, you can understand it very much deeper. Because the vibration has gone in there, the wisdom energy actually has gone in there. It has activated, it's transmitted. That's why the mind to mind transmission, the mind to mind seal, is very unique, very beautiful. It is wonderful transmission. And the one that receive, there's a lot of joy. Then through this you learn. This is how you receive. And in the future, when you are ready, when you can share and transmit, people draw, you can explain to them, just like how I explained to you all. But this is what the spiritual field, the spiritual cultivation is all about. And this type of understanding is very rare, very, very rare. Mm.
Yes, yes. So, when Bratio finished talking, right, I also did not know Bratio finished talking until my name is being called. Then only
Oh,
I heard
sadhu.
my name, I heard my name. So I said I
Yeah,
better get
which
out
way
already.
you are at the heart there, which is
Yeah,
very good. Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, okay. So I mean, I heard my name. I kind of like, oh, heard my name. I had to wake up already. I
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
come
yeah,
out from
yeah.
the
Sadhu,
so-called
sadhu.
uh, listening from the heart. So it's like so
Mm-hmm.
strange that I heard my name. I had to get up and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have to
yeah.
respond to
Actually,
uh,
at your stage, you will be going through this phase of listening from the heart. You will stay at the heart more and more because you have that stability to be there. Uh, and
yeah. So
all these are a different level of cultivation already. That's
yeah.
why
So it was
uh, later
thank you
on at the
very
retreat,
fun.
you can also do it while you
Yes,
meditate, while I share. If the
yes,
body give you the sign to go and lie down and meditate, you go and meditate. Then don't try to listen to the words. Stay at the heart. You will go in.
yes,
You
yes.
will go in. Yeah.
Thank you, Bratio. So,
Mm.
so that is the part that I want to share. And then since Bratio was talking about the spiritual trip, right? So,
Yeah.
this spiritual trip, I also signed up, lah, Bratio, to
Mm.
join Bratio and Tamitas to Fujian and
Yeah,
Jiangxi,
yeah,
lah,
yeah.
right? So because for me, I want to take all opportunities, I will go all out, lah. Whatever trip Bratio
Sadhu,
go, I will
sadhu, sadhu. Yeah,
so I will
rejoice.
make time to do it
Yeah, yeah.
because that is a very precious time
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
join our teachers the true cultivator
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
big on spiritual trip so we can learn a lot
Yeah,
because
yeah.
from my past trip with Bharatio, I mean not past but one trip with Bharatio, right, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a
The
lot of
Utai Sanon. Yeah.
Thailand
uh,
experience, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
talking about drawing energy from the spiritual area, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
actually, Daniel, maybe I want to mention about this. When drawing
Uh,
energy, right? I mean,
mm.
when I go for spiritual trip,
uh,
especially to those how you call that, the four bodhisattvas, right? So you
uh,
can feel their energy, okay. You can also see the energy, but you
yeah,
not
yeah,
just feel
yeah.
that.
It's
You can
very
see the
different
energy
one.
coming in. Very different.
Especially at Utai Sano, the whole area, the whole sit town or whatever, those mountain there, the energy is everywhere. The Wensu Pusan, her nature's energy is very strong. In fact, 20-30 kilometers before we arrive, my nature detect already. And the whole of that mountain range and the whole area, the Uthai San area, a lot of his energy.
Yes. Very true. It's very true. Among all the mountains I've been, right, very true. I think Uthai San has the most energy, very true. Even
Uthai
at
San.
the hotel that we stay, I can feel the energy. So,
The Uthai San is very unique place.
yes, very, very unique. And then when you go to this Huayan Si, the monastery, right, wow, you can actually see the energy on your fingertips,
Yeah.
I took the energy went to my fingertip and
In fact, there, the Kuan Yin's nature also very strong. Kuan Yin's
correct.
nature.
Especially at Kuan Yin's nature there, the energy, I can see the light on my fingertips, So, and then when it comes to the hotel that we stay, right, and then when we walk along the street, I also, when eating, I can see the lights coming out from my fingertips as well.
Sadhu.
So the energy is very strong,
It's very different.
transmit out
That's why you
energy.
need to develop the sati, the mindfulness, the stability of awareness, the heedfulness. Then your nature must be connected. Then you become sensitive. Then you can detect all this. That's why ability to develop stability or inner awareness is the most important. Then your daily mindfulness stabilize it. Then through your faith, sincerity, diligently cultivate until the whole nature become very stable. Then you become very beautiful. Sadhu.
Mahasadu to Bratio. So since time is up, Bratio, I will just pay my respect and express my deepest gratitude to Bratio for your magnificent teaching, Bratio, that give this nature of mine lots of joy and understanding, and especially in developing directly to the true mind.
That is the most important one. That's why a lot of Kayamita now they know that this teaching is very different, very unique. And like that day I share ever since day one. In fact, the last Tuesday one was very good. Ever since day one when I decided to come out and share 2004. All the understanding already there. And what I share until today never change. Even all the transcript book, everything. Then all the thing that manifest is through the understanding that actually plan all this. Then everything just fall into place. The volunteer came, the Kayamita came, and those who are supposed to receive. Then the last few years after 2016 and 7 onward, when the Bodhisattva way came out, the Kayamita force moved very fast. And that momentum of the Kayamita force is helping a lot of Kayamita to develop good progress in their cultivation. That's why it's very strong. And a lot of them have gratitude, understanding. That's why they have tears and all those things. Then they develop seriousness of practice. Very good sharing. Let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay.
But before the end, before the end, I just want to have one more point I want to say. Add on to what Brother Teo said. Beside the teaching, right, Brother Teo, the very important one is the Bodhisattva vows.
That one most important.
Yes. For me, I took it in 2017 in my first retreat with Brother Teo at Cameron Highland. Despite understanding fully what is the Bodhisattva vows all about, in the sense that the great vows of the Bodhisattva in that sense. So, I mean, I only know now the so big great vows it is, to make the aspiration, the heavy vow, heavy vow.
You all will start to appreciate that yellow card, the vows and all those things, and realize how beautiful and how profound and complete are all this teaching and sharing. And it take care of everything. Asking for forgiveness, repentance, break the karmic obstruction, then pave the way for you to develop the cultivation, progress, then cultivate affinity with great beings. All these are there, incorporated. And how to plant the seed of Bodhi. And what are the things that you need. All these are there, taught. That's why all these will bring.
What I want to say is, what I want to say is, because we are cultivators, we are truly, genuinely cultivating the path, right? And our past, we do not know, is a mixed bags of good and bad. Therefore, the karmic conditioning will come to test you and to let you go through it. And without these bodhisattva vows, right, we will have difficulty overcoming it. But because we have that, but because we have that, we can overcome it very smoothly, you know, with minimum, how to call that, minimum suffering, brother. Minimum suffering.
It saves you a lot of yen wang lu.
Yes, correct.
Like
And then we
unnecessary
can,
wrong turn.
we can go through it very smoothly, and we know what is happening because we also have the sati developed, you know, in our cultivation. So it helps us a lot. And then, of course, like brother said, faith, sincerity, and perseverance is super important.
These three.
Factors is very important. And then the sati, and then because we have this vow, these heavy vows, you know, of the bodhisattva,
It
right,
will take you
can
along.
help us so much.
It will help you in your cultivation.
Yes, correct. It will take us along. That's a very good word to say. It will take us along despite our past karmic, you know, that we had, mixed bags that we had. We can, it can take you through, you know, very smoothly. I would say very smoothly, you know.
Sadhu,
And you can see it in the so-called test, you know, in your, I would say, but this one is like when you get, when you were hit by the test, right, you actually can see it, how you go through it.
How you are able to overcome it and go through all this.
But this is not the mundane mind that see it. Actually, is I would say, but it's the true mind that see it. Because it's only through the true mind you see it. You do not have
the
problem.
nature, from
But
that nature.
the nature see it, you will not have problem. But if you see it on the mundane mind level, you will have lots of problem. That is the difference when you do the bodhisattva vow, because the vows of the bodhisattva is so heavy. You can really overcome it very smoothly. That is the advantage. I mean, to put it in a very mundane way, that is the advantage of the bodhisattva vows. So, as a cultivator, the way that is a true cultivator, you must take this bodhisattva vows. If you not, your path will be a lot of hindrances, I would say. Okay. That's all I want to say. Thank you, brother, for your yellow card and the bodhisattva vows. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we have to share merit already. It's already 10:37. Akasata cha pumata devanaga mahindika punyang tang anumoditwa cirang rakantu loka sasana ettavata chamehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anudantu sabba sampati siddhya idang menya tinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo devo asatakalena sasa sampati hetu cha fito bhavatu loko cha Raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamena mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to the Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.